Okay, what is happening here? What is happening in this movie? And the answer is, this is the actual chessboard of the movie in question. And you couldn't tell it by the actual movie, but Ron is sitting on a knight. He's a black knight. And Hermione is a black rook, as you know, as if you watch carefully. And of course, Harry is this black bishop. Now, how are you going to go on the board like this from this situation to black actually checkmating? And the answer is, I will take you through it one lick at a time. Let's go. And what happens in the first situation is, if you look at this, now of course, Harry and his friends are black, right? And so that means white. It's white to move in this situation. You know it's not black to move, because if it were black to move, Ron would just move to right there. He would drop himself right there to H, 1, 2, 3, 4 right there, H3, and he would checkmate. And so notice that that actually does checkmate. The entire row here is sealed off by Hermione, and of course this bishop is attacking here, and you're blocked in by your own pawn, and so this would be a quick little checkmate. So you know white is going to stop it. And of course the queen can't stop it by moving to this spot, or the knight will just take and you'll lose a queen, or the rook would take. Also, of course, you can't really stop and protect that spot by moving here, because again the rook would take and you'd lose a queen for free. The only really legit move is definitely for the white queen to come up and capture there, and that's what happens in the real movie. And so, of course, the queen is now protecting the spot. If Ron comes over, bam, Ron dies. Well, of course, the black players, Hermione and Ron and Harry, coordinate their attack. Ron coordinating it all and seeing what to do, because apparently Ron is on the chess team at Hogwarts, or whatever it is. And here we go. Because what you want to do now, and what happens in the game is, black strangely makes the move of the rook to here attacking the queen. It's a sacrificed rook. It's today's lesson. Think about it in this situation. Because in this situation, what you want is for the queen to get off the file so Ron can mate. And so you're going to pay any price it takes to get that queen off that file. You'll drop the rook to here, and then of course they will take the rook. They don't have any choice here. They have to take the rook. Because if they were to do anything else, like stay on the file, the rook will take the queen. And if you get off the file, the knight instantly wins. You don't get to move to here or here to protect this spot right here, this H3, because the rook protects that controls this entire file here. And as a result, you know the white queen's going to take, and that's what happens in the movie. The white queen captures. Now here's the beauty, and this is complex, so stay tuned. At this point, you have two different sacrifices followed by a mate. You can either go with A, Harry comes up and checks at this point, and then yes, the queen would take Harry for free, and then Ron would come down, and that would be checkmate. So that would be a possibility, but according to the plot of the Harry Potter movie, Harry has to survive this scene. And so Ron is like, no, Harry, you're not the one that's going to check. It's me that's going to check. He's the guy who makes the move right down to here checking. And then the queen has to come over and capture, which it does. It smashes the knight right there. And then and we can go ahead and watch it now. Ron makes the move, checking. There's no escape because the king is sealed off here, sealed off in these two squares by this bishop right here. And the only way in the world to stop this is for the queen to capture. This was a sacrifice knight. It's exactly today's lesson. And then the queen comes over and takes, and then all that Harry needs to do is move himself up to this spot, and it checks. And notice that in this situation, white actually resigns in the movie. That's what dropping that sword meant. It didn't mean the game was over. And there was actually a move to interpose. The queen could have moved back to interpose, but Harry would have just taken it. That would have been really, really cool to see in the movie. I don't know why they didn't show it, but they didn't. I don't make the movies. I just diagrammed the chess. And I know here that at this point, white drops his sword and resigns because it's totally mate. As soon as white gives up the queen, which won't really do any good, it's an ineffectual interposition, so it doesn't really matter. He might as well resign because everybody knows when the white moves there, the bishop takes, checking, king has no escape because of the other bishop, and of course is sealed off because of the rook. So this is the classic example of a sacrifice where poor Ron has to take the bullet for the team, but he does it to get the queen out of the way, and then up comes the bishop to check. This is the kind of sacrificing I want you to be doing. Now, I'm going to show you one lick at a time the actual movements of the game in a PowerPoint. Watch this.